I don't really think that there's anybody out there who would say that they don't want to learn how to be better with their money, or they don't want to have more money in their bank account, or they don't want to know how to manage money better. But one of the problems that a lot of people come across is this big financial industry, this whole subculture of people who talk about finances, who talk about personal investments. And one of the things that trips up a lot of people, I know it did when I started learning this stuff, is all the terminology thrown around, because it can sound like a big jumble of words that don't mean anything to you. And when somebody's explaining something to you, you can go, oh, okay, and you start getting what they say from the beginning, but then they've thrown so much jargon in it that you kind of glaze your eyes over and fall asleep. Well, in this video, for those of you guys out there that feel that way a lot of times when you hear people talking about financial issues, we're going to discuss 5 terms that you should know to get you started to kind of understand a little bit more about what these people are talking about. And that's whether or not you're talking to a financial advisor, somebody doing your taxes, talking to friends, or even just watching the news and you see, oh, there's a problem in the money, in the market, and the things over there, but they're using all these words that I don't know. So we're going to help you guys out with that. And by the end of this video, you should at least be, if you're not already familiar with, more familiar with what these terms are. Some you've probably heard, some you probably haven't heard, but it's good to know what they all mean. Welcome back to Wrestling with Finance. This is the YouTube channel for people who have struggled with finance in the past and look to do better with it in the future. And a lot of these terms can be very jarring to people. And we can start with one that when I do talk about it, sometimes people's eyes glaze over and they just want to run away. Time value of money. And time value of money is actually fairly important, especially in this day and age where we're at with the economy and where we're at with a lot of people trying to get their money straight and trying to get their investment straight. So what time of value basically means is that your money is going to be worth more now than it is worth in the future. We have a dime, and this is a dime. We all know it's worth 10 cents, and there's certain things that you can, well, not really anymore, but you used to be able to buy with a dime. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is that in about 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever the time frame is, depending on other factors, this dime that is worth 10 cents today will actually be probably worth 5 cents in today's money 10 years in the future. I'd say if you're at least over the age of 25, you probably have at this point in your life noticed that, yeah, something that you used to buy back when you were a kid used to cost something then, and now it costs a lot more now, and pretty much everything is like that. And the reason is that things change in the system. You have more money printed. Some things are worth more and some things are worth less. You have new financial investment opportunities that rise up. The bank does this thing, the federal government does that thing, and all of it really results in your money being worth less in the future than it is now, which is why we all stress personal investment. It's also the reason why a lot of people say this, and I say this to everybody I know who does this: putting your money in a sock drawer or under your mattress or stashing it away somewhere, and really even putting your money in a regular savings account that you're going to get from your bank is probably not the best idea, because while that money is just sitting there, it's losing value almost on a daily basis. Now, a lot of people don't understand this. They don't know this. They probably were never taught this. And that's the reason why I'm bringing that up in this video, because you would hear from a lot of people, especially a lot of people who aren't familiar with finances. They don't really get involved with it. They don't really want to know anything about it. And they go, well, I don't use any of that stuff. Cash, fool. When you buy a car, you know immediately once you drive the car off the lot, everybody knows this whole statistic. Once you drive the car off the lot, it's worth immediately a lot less than when it was on the lot. The same thing goes with cash. That's all you really need to know about it. Another one that comes up a lot, and you're going to hear about a lot these days, is inflation. Inflation is something that is affecting all of us now. And inflation usually comes when the price of goods and services is going up because the value of the money used to buy them is going down, which ties into the first point. This can be accelerated, especially when there's more money in circulation. That's why when you see different currencies around the world, some people, it costs 1,000 of whatever unit of currency that they're using to buy something that will be $10 for us here in the States, or maybe $12 in Canada, or 15 euros in Europe. That's why you hear a lot of people arguing about all the money that we printed over the last year, that we printed trillions and trillions of dollars, and warning that inflation was coming. And now a lot of people who were in the financial space and don't pay attention to it thought, hey, I got all this money and the government sent me all this money and it's all great and I don't have to really work that hard and blah, 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 blah. But the problem is that comes back to bite you in the butt. And the people that it bites in the butt the most are the people who are usually the working and middle class who don't really know this stuff. You can see this in grocery stores, because like if you're used to buying a certain amount of things at the grocery store and you're used to being like, just say your bill is just usually like $50 2 years ago. You can buy the same stuff today from the grocery store and your bill might wind up being $62. And that is a result of the first two things I'm talking about. But right now it's more about inflation. So let's say you've moved past that and you go, okay, me just sitting on cash is not a good idea, so let me start investing. Well, some investing terms that you really should need to know are volatility. Volatility is a very good one to be aware of, and you'll hear this a lot once you start getting into the investment space or start reading articles about it. And volatility really is how much the price of a certain good or asset fluctuates in a short period of time. So you have some legacy stocks out there that their price doesn't really go up that much over time. You see it and it's usually within this range, and you can go out and look at 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years out, and the price has really only shifted maybe $5 to $10 over the course of that entire lifetime. That would be an asset that would be considered not very volatile when in comparison to something like cryptocurrency, whereas Bitcoin and Ethereum and all of those coins, they fluctuate in price quite dramatically quite often. Just in 2021 alone, you only have to look at Bitcoin as a highly volatile asset where it's ranged anywhere between $30,000 to $60,000 up and down over the course of the entire year. That would be considered an asset that is extremely volatile, which is, again, part of the risk with Bitcoin. But the thing you have to remember, the assets that are highly volatile also means that you get not only big swings down, but big swings up. So while you can lose a lot of money, you can also have the potential of gaining a lot of money by investing in assets that are highly volatile. Again, that is all your risk tolerance. And again, remember, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I am not your financial advisor. You should always do your own research and do not let your investment decisions be solely based off of listening to a random person on the internet. Before you do anything, do your own research, look it up yourself. Asset allocation is something that you definitely should know about if you do start investing. And what it really is where your assets are placed. As it says, where are they allocated? How many asset classes do you have? And when I say asset classes, it's just another term technically, it's do you have Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and real estate and stocks and bonds and a savings account? Do you have collectibles? Do you collect shoes, or do you collect Pokemon cards, or whatever it is? Do you have your assets spread out amongst a lot of different avenues? Now, asset allocation and being diverse in your asset allocation is the suggested strategy by most, because if one goes down, well, you still got the other ones. And the last one I'm going to talk to you guys about is net worth. Now, this is a term you probably hear a lot. Net worth is essentially what all your holdings are worth subtracted by your financial obligations. So case in point, a lot of young people don't have much of this net worth because, if you're a student going to college and you got a $40,000 student loan debt, well, your student loan debt is clearly going to outstrip your apartment that you don't own, your car that you're still paying on, and you probably got a loan for that too. And all you really have as assets is really kind of your job and the money you get your job from your paycheck. Now, as you get a little bit along in your 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s up until retirement, hopefully that is changing for you, which is why credit is very important. Your net worth can be hurt or enhanced by the amount of debt that you owe and how much you have to pay on credit or how much credit is available to you. When you buy a house or any kind of real estate or any kind of property, how much that is worth goes towards your net worth. And over time, some of these things deteriorate. Over time, some of these things increase. Again, things like Pokemon cards, or if you have vintage t-shirts or vintage action figures or whatever the hell it is. I do want to say one more thing about that. There is this kind of interesting chart and trajectory that goes up. It's like once you get to a certain point where you've kind of balanced out that net worth, your debts to your assets, and then you get your assets in the positive, then you have far more worth in your assets than you have in your liabilities, that chart kind of goes up through the roof. And then you kind of don't, it's very hard to go. I mean, you can, because a lot of people have done it, to go back down to here. But really, if you're doing everything the way that you should be doing and you learn how to manage your money and you don't make boneheaded decisions or things that really shouldn't happen when you're messing around with your money, if you do a lot of that stuff, you tend to kind of grow and grow and grow once you're past that break-even point. But again, that's different for each person, and it depends really on what your financial situation is. It's not a guarantee, but I have noticed amongst myself and other people I know I talk to about finances that there is that kind of breakout point where you kind of get up like that. Is that a good sound to you? I guess that's the sound. That's the sound that you hear when it happens. If you hear that sound, you know you're doing well with your net worth. But those are 5 financial terms that you should absolutely know. And if you want to know more about these terms, you want to know about more stuff, do hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It does help out the channel. You can also, of course, do other research for yourself, and if you want to get started in your investment journey, you can check down in the description box below. I got a lot of free giveaways down there. You can get free cryptocurrency from BlockFi, Celsius, even Coinbase is giving out some free cryptocurrency just for signing up. You can check out those links down below. You can get some free starter points by signing up for the Chase Sapphire Preferred Card using that link down below. And you can also earn some free stocks, 2 free stocks that could be worth anywhere up to $2,300 from Webull by using the link down below. Again, do your investigations first on those. Those links are just there to provide you with a way to get into those and do more research. And if you feel like it's a good fit for you, by all means, use it. It definitely does help out the channel, and I appreciate it. Until next time, I will see you guys here for more news and terms and other stuff in this crazy world of personal finance right here on Wrestling with Finance. Have a good day.